Yo, what's great, everybody? Back with another video. My name is EddyOneTake. Welcome to the channel if you haven't been here before, and if you've been here before, welcome back. So this video is for my entrepreneurs. Anybody that's watching this video, if you're an entrepreneur, I have a question for you. What if you could have business training from one of the greatest, one of the most persuasive, and one of the most influential business owners of our generation? I mean, this is somebody that Hollywood made a movie after. If you're still watching this video, I want to let you know that a little bit over 3 years ago, I was in a room in a Miami mansion with about 20 other entrepreneurs. And at the front of the room was the Real Wolf on Wall Street. And I'm not talking about Leonardo DiCaprio, I'm talking about Jordan Belford. It wasn't just an interview, but it was an intimate, intense, deep dive training where Jordan talked about his frameworks for persuasion. He also talked about his straight line selling method. The last thing he talked about was high performance mindsets. Now, you know what the beautiful part about it was? I decided to go ahead and capture this content because I know documentation beats conversation. So in today's video, I'm giving you a piece of that exclusive, never before seen footage. Why? Because I understand that proximity is power, and I know most people watching this video may never get around Leonardo DiCaprio or even Jordan themselves. Proximity is power. I'm giving you this video so you can learn directly from the source. It doesn't matter if you're just starting your business or you're scaling your online brand. What you're gonna watch in this video is gonna completely change how you communicate value. So let's get into the video.
Diplomas among them, okay? They barely graduated out of high school. Average IQ Forrest Gump on 3 hits of fucking acid. You get it? It was not the deep end of the intellectual gene pool, right? And I taught them how to sell penny stocks to average moms and pops, right? That's what my firm was about. I employed 13 people and they were doing well. In fact, they were making almost exactly what a lot of you guys are doing, $10,000, $12,000 a month. And that was great, especially back in 1988. That was really great, right? It's a lot of money, it's like $30,000 a month. Now they were doing great, these kids. The kids that would have worked in 7-Eleven if it wasn't for this, right? And they're making 10 grand a month. Then one day, let me repeat, I was selling penny stocks, 10-cent stocks to average moms and pops, no net worth, right? One day I have this idea. So wait a second, I want to call the richest 1%, and I stumble upon this niche of selling $5 stocks to the rich. The average trade for a mom or pop was about $500 to $1,000, and the commission was $500. That was a big trade.
Pink Sheets, it's 50.
It's 50%? 50% commission?
Yep.
For what?
It's our markup for our services.
So if I sell a stock at $10,000, my commission is $5,000
If you sell $10,000 worth of this stock, I will personally give you a blowjob for free. And I hope it happens.
The first ticket, the first trade that we did, we were testing the idea, and Danny actually got the first ticket. We were both calling this, he got a first connect. The first person he called bought $120,000 worth of the stock and apologized for working so small. And my commission on that was $80,000. I made 80,000 bucks, guys, in a minute. And in that moment, I knew. It was like my heart, that was one of those moments where I was like, whoa, that was the gap moment. I found a new way of who you would call and what you would sell. And I was like, fuck, it would have taken me a month to have a broker earn 80,000, or 3 months. Danny did it in a minute, all right? And in that moment, I knew, and I remember looking out into the boardroom at my 12 nincompoops, right? And they were banging away calling moms and pops. I said, wow. I said, all I have to do is teach these 12 kids how to now sell to rich people, and the rest, as they say, will be history. I remember this moment like it was yesterday. It was like November of 1988, a Tuesday, right? And they also say, unfortunately, easier said than fucking done. Here's what happened. As it turned out, I got a couple of hours here, right, to get you guys to the next level. And just remember this, when it comes to making money, it's always about what's the next level? It's always like a leveling up, and you can't say to myself, you know, oh, I want to be a billionaire. I want to make 10 million next year. That's great and everything. Thanks, buddy. All right. But at this point in your lives where you are right now, I know what you guys are making. Some of you guys are making 10 grand a month. Some guys are making $250,000 a month, right? But the idea is that wherever you are right now, there's like one level above where you're at that is really easy to get to. It's like just the next level up, right? And then from there, the next level up from there is typically easy to get to. It's hard to make, like, listen, let me be honest, every once in a while, you crack the code for something and you make this monumental leap in income where you go from making to, you know, 10,000 a month to 3 million a month. That happens very rarely in life. It's happened to me sometimes where I've been doing things a certain way and I make one little shift and suddenly it's the doors go blowing off, right? But that's the exception to the rule when it comes to making money. Most of the time, it's about like this sort of slow, incremental, grinding it out day to day, and I'll take a grinder any day of the week than somebody who's out there just trying to smack home runs with some newfangled way. Like, I got the newest way to, guys, I know you're doing it this way, but you gotta do it that way and you'll make, and that's mostly bullshit. Every once in a while, some crazy new idea how to go out and bring in more traffic or do this, it works, but for the most part, if you wanna assure your own success, seriously, if you wanna assure your success, it's about doing what you're already doing, but just doing it a little bit better, and also working harder. 95% of this is hard work, guys. It's stick-to-itiveness. Now, the problem is, with a lot of people, is that your brains are really smart. Your brain knows when you're wasting your time and when you're not wasting your time. So what happens with, unless you really skill yourself up and you get yourself into the position where you say, you know what? I am so good at explaining this idea to people. I'm so good at selling the concept of why it makes sense to sign up for this program. I'm so good at that. Get me in front of fucking anybody and I will close them. Amen. Once you're in that point of certainty, here's what happens. You'll start working harder because you know that it's only a numbers game. I can't stress this enough. There's two parts to success when it comes to selling. One of them is sheer hard work. How many people are you gonna get yourself in front of every single day to make a pitch to? That's it. Sales is a numbers game, and don't let anybody ever tell you different. Sales is numbers. You could have the greatest opportunity, the greatest product in the world, and if you speak to 5 people a day, okay, you're gonna get X result. And if you speak to 500 people a day, you're gonna get about 100, and whatever that might be, X result. In other words, the number, the actual multiplier effect of speaking to people is real. It's just a bottom, it is, guys. But, and here's the magic though, is that your brain will not let you put in the amount of hours that would be necessary. There's so much, and I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's fucking hard work. It's not always fun getting rejected. It's not, but it's fucking worth it. It's fucking worth it, let me tell you that. But it's only worth it if you take the time to skill yourself up and turn yourself to a fucking closer. Because then you'll know that if I actually do the work, I make all these calls, I'm gonna get the results. Because I couldn't imagine, like for myself, here's the thing, guys, when I am thinking about whether or not to take action, should I do something, should I not do something, right? In my mind, what do? I run the movie. I say, all right, if I do all this, if I take all the risk, invest my money, work hard, do all the stuff, maybe it'll work out good, maybe not. But when I play the movie out, here's what I always say to myself. If it's possible to make it work, I'll make it work. It won't be me. It won't be a lack of ability or skill that stops me from succeeding. That doesn't mean it's gonna work. In other words, sometimes shit doesn't work. Shit doesn't always work. But I know that if it doesn't work, it wasn't because I suck moose cock, basically. That I suck. And let me just tell you, this is a huge point, guys, because what you need to do is skill the fuck up. You gotta get so good at explaining this idea to people, because once you're so great at closing, your brain will say to you, you know what? All I gotta do is speak to the people I gotta speak to in massive numbers, and I know, put me in front of anybody, and I will close anyone who's what? Closable. Those are the words you have to say to yourself. If you put me in front of people, I will close anyone who's closable. The highest level of straight line proficiency is being able to close anyone who's closable. Now let me tell you what that means. That does not mean you close everybody. It doesn't mean that. What it does mean is that when you pitch someone and at the end they don't buy from you, you don't walk away saying, damn, if JB was there, he would have closed them, or he could, if my mentor was there, he would have closed them, but I fucked it up. See, if you leave a sale saying, damn, I blew that, it was me, I can't, even when I got a qualified buyer, it was me that didn't close the deal because I wasn't good enough. If you're thinking that, even this much of a seed of a doubt that it's you, then what happens is your brain says, you know what? Why the fuck should I do all the work? Why should I spend all the time, the money, the rejection? And rejection's not fun. I'm gonna show you different ways to reframe it and make it slide off your back. We become experts as professional salespeople, and make no mistake, you gotta be a professional salesperson. Look at yourself like that. You guys are two things. You're professional salespeople and you're entrepreneurs. You're both. And anybody who's a great salesperson who's not thinking they're also an entrepreneur or vice versa is missing the fucking point. If you're an entrepreneur, you gotta be an expert closer. Because you gotta close people on lots of different things, not just buying your product. You gotta close people on joining your organization. You know, one of the biggest things that my biggest attributes over my whole life, certain things off place, is my ability to attract talented people to come work with me. Wow. And I say not work for me, I say work with me. My employees don't work for me, they work alongside me, and I make sure everybody has a chance to get a piece of the pie.
That was powerful stuff, right? All right, now what you just watched was a little snippet from the hour-plus long complete training that we experienced with Jordan Belford. This is the stuff that you will not find on his public podcast. Go look on YouTube and try to search it up, but you're not gonna find it. If you're still watching the video, here's the deal. What I'm gonna do is make the full 60 minutes uncut available to you. But I'm not just gonna dump the video on YouTube. What I've done is I've packaged it into a complete resource. So now if you want the rest of the training where he breaks down his framework step by step, answers all of the raw questions, and he gives you the advice that you can only get behind closed doors. Again, proximity is power. If you made it this far in the video, I got two things for you. First thing I have for you is a free Wolf on Wall Street Persuasion cheat sheet that talks about the 5 takeaways from the entire training. This is something you can apply to your business to start seeing results today, and I'm gonna leave that link in the description. So the second thing I got for you is an opportunity for you to get the full 1 hour long training. The link to purchase it with instant access is going to be in the description. It's priced affordably for serious entrepreneurs, but the value that this packs is so immense, I promise you it's priceless. And on that note, remember this: proximity is power, and your next breakthrough could be just 1 click away. My name is EddyOneTake signing out. All we do is numbers, and I wish you much success.